Spare parts dealers across the country will hit the streets on November 15 to protest against foreign retailers' invasion in the spare parts industry, and they maintain that the task force set up by government has failed in its quest to bring sanity to the spare parts retail business. Already, we have the group in Greater Accra, that is the Abosokan Spare Parts Dealers Association, also planning to hit the streets. But my colleague Evan Tinkum joins us from Kumasi to give us the latest there also, where we understand the demonstration is popular among the spare parts dealers there in the Ashanti region.
They issued a press release and they raised a number of concerns that they want the Ministry of Trade and Industries to address. Now, we'll be speaking to the chairman of the Spare Parts Association in the person of Mr. Kwame Benya very soon. But let me quickly run you through some of the very concerns that they raised, or a snippet of it, and the very letter that they also wrote to the Ministry of Trade and Industry. Now, they are actually saying that there's a multiple and astronomical increase in the presence of invasion of foreigners engaged in retail and petty trading in open markets with impunity and total disregard and abuse of our law. They are also raising concern of flooding of the market with inferior goods, of course, by these foreigners. That is allegation that they have actually raised. And they are also saying an unfair competition with the indigenous traders, making it unprofitable for us to operate. I'm talking about the Spare Parts Association here. But let me speak to Mr. Kwame Benya, who is the chairman of the association, because if you can also recall, they have issue ultimatum to the government to actually see to the very concern that they have raised. Well, we don't know. That ultimatum will end tomorrow, but we don't know what they are going to do afterwards. And that's exactly what we're going to find out from the chairman of the Spare Parts Association. So Mr. Kwame Benya will join me very soon to answer some of the questions that we've been able to elicit or gather from the very press statement that they released. A very good afternoon to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Well, you have raised a number of issues here. I think your main concern has to do with the influx of foreigners in your business. But let me ask you, don't you think that you are feeling insecure because of the foreigners are selling the same product, and perhaps they are also giving the product to the customers at an affordable rate?
It's not a matter of feeling insecure. It's not a matter of affordable rate of the pricing. We as indigenous and the sons of the soil, we have every right to protect our means of livelihood. This is our land, and the laws of the land states that no foreigner, no matter what, can engage in retail trading. In fact, the new law which has been passed by GIPC says that even if you want to engage in retail trading, you need to declare nothing less than 1 million cedis. Employ at least 10 Ghanaians, in addition to acquiring resident permits, work permit, and all the necessary registrations that you require.
Now, yes, you have also given us a highlight of course, it's the concerns and misgivings, and then what you think the task force should be doing. And you are saying that the inactivity and virtual collapse and or suspension of the task force set up by the ministry to monitor and control or regulate the operations of the foreigners might have culminated into this whole thing. How well do you believe that the task force has failed to do their work?
Well, like we said earlier on, there's virtually total lack of commitment on the part of government to make sure that the task force is effective. This task force was established about 3-4 years back. Within 2 weeks of the operation, they were asked to be suspended. Then, after our agitations, the task force was re-established by Ms. Hanatete, then the trade minister. The task force didn't go into a month, it was suspended again. So it means that there's total lack of commitment on the part of government to make sure that this task force works.
Okay, so just behind Mr. Kwame Benya and myself are the executives of the Spare Parts Association here at the Swame Magazine Cluster of Industry. So you have given the government an ultimatum, and it ends tomorrow, that's 15th of November. What exactly do you want from the government? If the government fails to execute what you want the government to do for you, what's going to be your next line of action?
Well, we plan to have the demonstration tomorrow, that's on the 15th. But just at the time that we were planning, the TUC brought in their issue about also hitting the street on the 18th. We had to reconsider our stance. And we were also contacted by counterparts from Koforidua and Accra, who wanted to join us in the demonstration. So it looks like we have rescheduled our time. We are having a meeting tomorrow, to fix a new date. And certainly, if we do not hear anything positive from government, we are going to hit the street on the 29th.
All right, so that is what Mr. Kwame Brenya is actually saying. They are going to hit on the streets on the 29th. Now, my final question to you. On the 26th of October 2013, you wrote a letter to the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and I will try and give you a snippet of what they wrote to the Ministry of Trade and Industry. The above-named Association of GUTA, that is the Spare Parts Association, observed with grave concern the ever-increasing rate of foreigners engaged in retail and petty trading activities in the open market, which is a direct abuse of our investment laws and total disbandment of the task force set up by the ministry to regulate the activity. The situation has assumed such alarming proportions that the agitation from among the local traders require immediate attention to forestall any unpleasant consequences. Have you heard anything from the ministry?
Since we submitted this letter, we haven't had anything positive. All we've been getting from them are excuses and counter excuses, that they've referred the letter to the directors and chief directors who are holding meetings or who have either traveled or expecting them back. So to date, we haven't had anything positive from them.
All right. So we will be following this issue with close interest as the days advance, or as they also prepare for their demonstration. My name has always been William Ivan Sinkum, and we have been coming to you live from the Swami Industrial Cluster of Industries. Over to you, Beatrice.
Well, thank you so much, Evans, for that update in the Ashanti region. Spare parts dealers across the country, we understand, will hit the streets on November 15, but the group is reconsidering. They intend to meet tomorrow, that is the 15th, to deliberate on issues, and we're likely to see that demonstration on the 29th of November 2013. But we would communicate the exact date to you if, of course, it is happening tomorrow, the 15th, or we are seeing a shift to 29th November, and we will get more detail also from the Ministry of Trade as to whether they have received any petition and what they are also doing about the concerns raised by the spare parts dealers in Kumasi, Koforidua, as well as the Greater Accra region.